Okay, let's be honest. How many times have you, like, grilled a burger, feeling pretty good about it?
Hmm.
Maybe you're making them for friends, right? And then you take that first bite, or you watch someone else bite in,
The moment of truth.
and it's just, well, it's underwhelming. The bun is soggy, falling apart.
Or the meat's kind of dry on the outside,
Yeah.
but still, like, pink and raw in the middle.
Exactly. It happens way too often, doesn't it?
It really does. And it seems like such a simple thing, a burger.
Yeah.
But actually, taking it from just okay to, outstanding,
Right.
that takes some know-how,
Hmm.
real attention to detail.
Spot on. And that's why we're doing this deep dive today. You sent us this great source. It's an audio recording, Gordon Ramsay's perfect burger tutorial.
Right.
And our mission really is to dig into that, pull out the absolute key secrets, the stuff that's really going to help you elevate your burger game. We want to show you how this source says you can make a burger that's, well, to die for. That's the quote.
Okay, let's get straight into it then. Because right off the bat, the source makes it clear. The foundation, the absolute first thing you got to nail is the meat itself.
Right. It's not just grabbing any ground beef.
No, it's about the blend.
So what's the blend he recommends?
Hey.
Because he's very specific.
He is. It's a mix.
Yeah.
Chuck, some good quality ground beef, and then a touch of brisket.
Brisket. Interesting.
Yeah, and the thinking here, it seems, is you're getting different things from each cut. Combining them gives you that perfect balance of, like, deep, meaty flavor, but also, really importantly, the right amount of fat.
Ah, the fat content. That's key for juiciness later.
Absolutely key, especially on a hot grill. And he does something interesting with the seasoning. He seasons the meat before combining it all.
Okay, that feels a bit backwards. Usually you mix then season.
It does seem a bit unusual, yeah.
Yeah.
But the idea, I think, is you get a more even seasoning throughout the final mix this way, rather than just getting, like, pockets of salt and pepper.
Okay, so season the chuck, season the ground beef, season the brisket.
Then bring it all together. And then he adds just a little bit of egg.
Just a touch, like a binder.
Exactly. Just enough to kind of help it stick together. You don't want it tasting like meatloaf. Just enough to bind.
Got it. And then there's this tip that honestly sounds like pure genius from the source. Making the patties.
The day before.
Yes. Make them the day before you grill them, put them in the fridge. Why is that such a big deal?
Well, it's a total game changer for keeping the patty together.
Yeah.
When you chill them overnight like that, the fat firms up nicely, and the proteins kind of set in that patty shape.
Ah.
So when they hit that hot grill, boom, they hold their shape beautifully. They don't shrink nearly as much. And crucially, they're way less likely to crumble or just fall apart on you.
Okay. That makes perfect sense. Because there's nothing worse than your burger patty just disintegrating on the grill.
Right? Nightmare fuel for the barbecue.
But you don't cook them straight from, like, ice-cold fridge to super hot grill.
No, the source is quite clear on that. You let them sit out for a bit first, maybe 10, 15 minutes.
Just to take the edge off the coal.
Exactly. Just to take that deep chill off. It stops that thing happening where the outside chars instantly, but the middle stays cold and raw. It just helps it cook more evenly.
Okay, right. So meat blend sorted, patties prepped the day before, slightly rested. Now it's grill time. And rule number 1, according to this source, is...
Heat. Loads of it.
Yeah.
Piping hot grill.
You need that serious heat.
Yeah, you need that intense initial blast to get a really good sear. And he does something else, adds a little oil directly onto the burgers before they even touch the grill.
Oh, interesting. What kind?
Grapeseed oil gets a mention. It's got a high smoke point, so it's perfect for that really hot grill. Doesn't burn easily.
Smart. Okay, so oil on the patty onto the hot grill, and then more seasoning. We already seasoned the inside blend.
We did, but now it's about the outside. And this is where he talks about rolling the seasoning around the edge of the burger patty.
The edge. Why the edge specifically?
Well, it helps the seasoning really stick, first of all. And it creates this kind of crust of flavor right around the sides. You can't really season it properly after it's cooked, right?
Sure.
So getting that flavor locked onto the surface, especially the edges, early on is key. He actually says something like mopping up all that seasoning around the side.
Ha, I like that. Mopping it up. Okay, and where you put them on the grill matters too.
Absolutely. Hottest spot you've got, usually that's about 2/3 of the way up on a standard kettle grill, something like that. Find the heat.
And once they're on, here's another massive rule from the source, isn't it? Don't mess with them.
Resist the urge. Move that burger as little as possible.
Why is that so critical?
Well, every single time you poke it, prod it, slide it around, you risk it sticking, first of all. You interrupt that beautiful sear that's forming. And you increase the chance of the whole thing just breaking apart.
Right, so put it down.
Leave it alone. And instantly, Lid down.
Lid down.
Okay.
Okay, why the lid? Is it just speed?
It's not just speed, no. The source explains that putting the lid down does a couple of things. It traps the heat, so you get heat coming from the top as well, which
Oh.
helps create that amazing sear on the bottom. And crucially, it helps prevent sticking right from the start. He even asks, how many times have you stuck burgers on a grill and wondered why?
Yeah, happens all the time.
Well, this is the fix.
Hmm.
Nicely oiled patty, quick sear, lid down immediately. That combo helps stop the sticking.
Got it. How long are we talking per side, roughly?
With that intense heat and the lid down, it's actually pretty quick. The source suggests around 3.5 to 4 minutes per side, something like that.
Okay, and just before they come off, there's another seasoning step.
Yes. A final light seasoning right there on the grill.
Seriously. Seasoning again.
Yeah, the idea is layered flavor. The first seasoning was deep inside the blend. The edge seasoning created that initial crust. This final sprinkle is just like the last flavor hit on the cooked exterior.
He really pushes the seasoning.
Oh yeah, the source is like, season, 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 season. It's clearly vital to the whole thing.
And remember that fat content we talked about way back with the blend? Chuck, brisket?
Yeah.
That helps here too, right? Stops the dreaded shrinkage so your patty actually fits the bun.
Exactly. That proper fat content means it stays juicier, holds its shape better, and doesn't shrink down to, a little hockey puck.
Okay, perfect patty achieved.
Okay.
But the battle isn't won. Let's talk buns, because the other huge burger disappointment is the soggy bun. How many times have you had that happen? Just ruins the whole experience.
Oh, it's the worst. The enemy of a great burger, truly. And the source has a step for this that is absolutely non-negotiable.
Toasting them.
Toasting the buns, but not just like warming them through. There's a specific method.
Okay, what is it?
You season them lightly, first bit of salt, pepper, tiny drizzle of oil before they hit the heat.
Season the buns. Interesting.
Yeah, and here's the really critical bit. You toast both sides of the bun.
Both sides. You mean the cut side and the rounded top and bottom?
Exactly. Cut side gets crisp, obviously. But toasting the outside, too, lightly creates this barrier. It stops the juices from the burger, the sauces, everything, from just soaking straight through and turning it into mush. It actually protects the burger.
Oh, toasting the outside, too. That adds texture and, like you said, a defense layer. Clever. Okay, beyond the amazing patty and the perfectly toasted bun, toppings, the source mentions the classics cheese, tomato, lettuce, mustard, mayo.
Yep, the usual suspects.
But there's one topping he really singles out and gives special attention to.
Ah, yes, the grilled onions. He absolutely raves about them, calls them beauties, says they're delicious, easy to do, absolutely phenomenal.
So not raw onion.
Definitely not raw. You
Yeah.
peel them, slice them, season lightly, then grill them until they get all soft and sweet and caramelized.
And he really dislikes raw onion on a burger.
Very much so, according to the source.
Okay.
Says it's just too harsh, too acidic. It apparently blows the flavor of that patty you've worked so hard on. Whereas the grilled onions add this incredible sweetness and depth that just works with the meat. It's presented as a really key flavor choice.
Makes sense. Now, here's a tip that sounds next level, like proper restaurant pro territory, the butter finish.
Oh yeah, the butter brush. This sounds amazing. About 2 minutes before the burgers are done, you lightly brush the top of the patties with some melted butter.
What kind of butter?
He mentions the kind they use at his Vegas place, like Devona butter. But presumably any good quality butter works.
And what does that do?
Well, with the heat still coming up from the grill, it sort of caramelizes that butter right onto the burger surface. Adds this incredible richness, this wonderful flavor right at the end. Makes it so tasty, as he puts it.
Man, that little touch of rich caramelized fat just before serving. Wow, that sounds incredible.
And he even suggests you could take it further, right? Using flavored butters.
Yeah, like a red wine butter or a chipotle butter. Imagine that. That feels like a secret weapon for home cooks.
Totally. It's that little 1% detail that really elevates the whole thing.
Okay, so we've got our perfectly cooked butter-brushed patty. We've got our double-toasted seasoned buns. We've got those amazing grilled onions. Time to build this masterpiece.
And the source has a crucial strategy here too, doesn't it? It's not just about slapping it together.
No, preparation is everything at this stage. He really stresses you need to get your whole dressing station, your lettuce, your tomato, your sauces completely set up and ready before that burger comes off the grill.
Why is that timing so important?
Because you want to eat that burger the second it's ready, piping hot. You don't want that beautiful patty sitting there getting cold while you're rummaging for the mayo or slicing a tomato.
Momentum killer.
Exactly. Everything needs to be prepped, ready to go for instant assembly the moment the patty is perfect.
Okay, so walk us through the assembly order according to the source. Starts with the base bun.
Yep, the bum of the burger, as he charmingly calls it.
Huh. Okay, base bun down. Then what?
Mayonnaise.
Oh,
And interestingly, mayo goes on both the top bun and the base bun.
both. Why? He says you want it oozing out the side. It's about that richness, that moisture, that tang,
Yeah.
being part of the whole experience from top to bottom.
Okay, double mayo. Got it. What about lettuce? Just a leaf.
No, there's a technique even for the lettuce. You'd snap it, break it up a bit, manipulate it so it fits the actual shape of the bun.
Ah, so it sits neatly.
Yeah, so you get lettuce in every bite without huge awkward folds sticking out.
Mm.
It's about the structure.
Smart. Tomato next.
Nice slice of tomato and crucially, season it.
Season the tomato.
Salt and pepper on that tomato. That's the instruction. Brings out its flavor, stops it being watery.
Makes sense. When does the cheese go on?
Right at the very end of cooking. About 30 seconds before the burgers come off the grill, lay the cheese on top of the patties.
Just enough time to melt perfectly.
Exactly. Then onto the bun goes the patty with the melted cheese. Load on those beautiful grilled onions generously.
Grilled onions.
Then the top bun goes on, the one with this layer of mayo. Give it a little press down, and that's it.
And the final instruction is, eat it how?
Eat it nice and whole. The idea is, once it's built, with all the sauces and juices, it's this perfectly constructed thing. Don't try and take it apart again.
Right.
If you think it's too big to handle, the advice is slice it clean in half before you start eating, not after you've made a mess.
It's amazing, isn't it, how every single tiny step from picking the cuts of meat to like how you snap the lettuce leaf is considered, it's so detailed.
Absolutely. And he tells that funny story in the source, doesn't he? About when he makes these burgers at home.
Oh, yeah. His street becomes like the busiest place in America, with neighbors like Stevie Wonder, Kim and Kanye supposedly smelling them from down the road.
Exactly. It just paints a picture of how good these burgers must be, right?
Yeah.
Creates this whole buzz. He even mentions his F-word burger in Vegas uses these same techniques.
It really shows how getting the details right turns a simple meal into, well, an event.
It does. These aren't just random steps. They're specific techniques, each designed to maximize flavor, texture, juiciness, the whole eating experience.
So just to recap the absolute core takeaways from this deep dive, the things that really seem to make the difference according to the source, it's starting with that right meat blend, Chuck, ground beef, brisket for flavor, and fat.
Definitely. Then prepping the patties the day before so they hold together, that's huge.
Patient grilling, high heat, lid down, minimal movement. Crucial.
Yep. And toasting both sides of the bun to stop the dreaded sogginess. Seasoned, too.
Swapping out that harsh raw onion for the sweet, delicious grilled ones. Big flavor upgrade.
Massive. Don't forget that little butter brush finish at the end for richness.
Yeah, the pro move.
Yeah.
And finally, setting up your station beforehand so you can assemble and eat it instantly, nice and hot.
Following those specific steps, the ones pulled right from that source material, really does seem like it could transform your burgers from, just okay to genuinely extraordinary.
It really highlights the power of paying close attention, doesn't it? Applying real technique to something we often just take for granted.
It really does.
And, it makes you wonder if applying this kind of really meticulous, thoughtful preparation, thinking about the specific meat blend, the double toasting, the butter finish, the assembly order, can totally redefine something as common as a burger. What other everyday foods are just sitting there waiting? What other simple dishes could benefit from that same level of deep dive thinking? What unexpected little steps or maybe forgotten techniques might unlock their true amazing potential? Something to think about maybe next time you're in the kitchen.